as the bald eagle fought the iron vulture's talons in the sky, a squadron with tanks made their way into Allied territory. The tank squadron barreled through some trees. They stopped as they were met by a tall, muscular man dressed in a dog costume. The Nazi soldiers stared in shock. The large man smiled.
Hello.
The Nazi soldiers looked at each other nervously. The bald eagle was fighting the iron vulture's talons and was having some trouble. He radioed his allies.
I could use some help up here.
Several Nazi soldiers ran for their lives. The Mastiff had 2 Nazi soldiers in headlocks when he heard the bald eagle over the radio.
I'll see what I can do, old chap.
The Mastiff turned his attention to a tank.
That should do nicely.
The bald eagle continued his battle with the talons. The bald eagle tried radioing again.
I could use the help right about now.
The Mastiff spun around with a tank. The bald eagle continued to dodge attacks from the talon's planes. The bald eagle was worried.
Where's my help?
The tank sailed through the air and crashed into several talon planes.
That will do.
Let us go back to a few days ago. A government agent led the bald eagle down a hallway. I think you'll like the team. The bald eagle sneered.
You talk like I have a choice.
The bald eagle was brought to a room where Das Voin, the Soviet Union's best soldier, Toothpick, a French freedom fighter with a special gift, and the Mastiff, Britain's guard dog, were waiting for him. The Mastiff was the most friendly of the bunch as he waved to the American hero.
Good day, old chap.
Let us go back a bit further to the Mastiff's origins. The Mastiff used to be mild-mannered Rupert Evans-Polancih. Well, as mild-mannered
And the winner is Rupert Evans-Polancih.
as a championship boxer can be. The year was 1914, and World War I was underway. Rupert was quite the patriot, so he had to join the fight. During one battle, Rupert was captured. He spent several months in a prisoner of war camp until he escaped. While he was on the run, he took a bullet to the shoulder. Rupert managed to find solace in a German village. However, running with a bullet wound had taken its toll, and so he soon passed out in an alley. Luckily, a German serving woman named Heidi had found him.
Oh my god!
Heidi nursed Rupert back to health. After a few weeks of recuperation, Rupert was ready to leave. Rupert said his goodbyes to Heidi on the outskirts of town.
I will return to you, my love. We must end this terrible war.
I will wait for you till the end of time.
The two shared a passionate kiss before Rupert made his way back to the battlefront. Eventually, the Great War ended. However, when Rupert went back for Heidi, he found that her village was in shambles.
No.
Rupert dropped to his knees as he stared at what used to be a village, devastated by the loss of his love.
No!
Though the war ended with Rupert winning several medals and his country's admiration, it brought him little happiness. His loss started to take its toll on him.
And Rupert hits the mat.
The referee started counting over Rupert. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rupert sat in the locker room, depressed.
What has that display out there been?
Rupert turned to see an old war friend.
General Thornton.
The two men proceeded to the local pub. The general and Rupert sat in a booth. The general pushed a mug of ale towards Rupert.
That was quite a loss, my friend.
Rupert merely stared at his ale.
I guess it was.
Rupert looked up at the general.
I feel you aren't here to catch up.
The general sneered.
Wound me, sir. I mean, you're right, but you still wound me.
The general composed himself.
We need you to come back.
Rupert was taken aback.
What?
The general looked around to make sure no one was listening.
I don't know if you've heard the news, but
The general leaned towards Rupert.
Did you hear what happened to Archduke Ferdinand?
I've heard things here and there, but don't know how much else.
Well, since then, things have been heating up. There is talk of war.
War? With whom?
Everyone.
Rupert slumped back into his chair.
My God!
That's why we need men like you back on the front lines.
Rupert shook his head.
I would love nothing more than to serve Queen and country again. But I think age has caught up with me, my friend. As you've noticed, it seems my days in the ring are numbered.
The general sneered at Rupert.
We both know your heart was in that fight.
Rupert looked away in shame.
What happened over there?
Rupert shook his head.
I don't wish to talk about it.
The general sneered again.
I will not.
The general reached into a bag he had with him.
As for your age deficit,
The general handed Rupert a folder.
we need test subjects for an experiment.
Rupert took the folder, opened it, and read what was inside.
Project Guard Dog?
Yes. Our type scientists have come up with a formula that will greatly increase one's physical capabilities.
Sounds too good to be true. Why me?
The general looked away.
We have had other test subjects.
And?
Things didn't work out as planned.
And?
No successes.
What happened to the other volunteers?
All dead.
Rupert glared at the general.
Why would I be different?
Because of your rigorous training as a boxer and soldier, it's believed that you would be the best candidate.
And what if it kills me?
Then your family will be taken care of.
Rupert glared at the general.
You know I don't have any family.
The general looked away in shame.
Listen, if you don't want.
I'll do it.
The general was surprised.
Really?
Rupert shrugged.
I have nothing better to do, and besides, it would save other soldiers.
The general nodded solemnly.
Thank you for your service.
Rupert was injected with the guard dog formula. Rupert writhed in pain that night as the serum took hold. Once the formula settled, his size and strength had increased tenfold. Test ensued soon after. Rupert, now nicknamed the Mastiff, was put in front of a steel door. The scientist stood off to the side. This door is reinforced steel, 5 inches thick. Rupert shrugged.
What do you want me to do about it?
The scientist smiled. Get through it. The Mastiff nodded.
All right.
The Mastiff proceeded to punch the door, sending it flying off its hinges. The Mastiff gave the scientist a bored look.
Do you have anything more challenging?
The Mastiff was put before a firing squad. Ready? The Mastiff shrugged. The scientist rolled his eyes. I'll take that as a yes. Fire! The firing squad unloaded onto the Mastiff. But the bullets bounced harmlessly off of him.
Is it raining?
All right, Captain Cockshaw. Let's try something else. A cannon was aimed at Rupert. The scientist sneered at Rupert. Any last words? Rupert smirked.
Yes, let's get drinks after this.
Let's get this over with. Fire! The cannon was fired. The shell exploded on the Mastiff's chest,
Oh,
sending him flying backwards, and had him bounce off a wall and onto the floor. The scientist looked confused and concerned. You all right? The Mastiff started picking himself up from the floor.
I think we're good for today.
The Mastiff was sent on several missions. He was able to succeed, giving his new Herculean abilities. The news came that the Axis countries were making their own super soldiers. The Mastiff's government decided he should be on a team. The Mastiff was excited by the proposition, unlike his other teammates.